Ugh, delivering bad news to a parent is the worst. It always makes me feel guilty as if it's my fault. Don't shoot the messenger. But parent communication is part of the job. So in this episode of Classroom Quick Tips, I'm going to give you my top 5 tips for giving bad news to parents the best way possible. Before you even pick up the phone or sit down to write the email to the parent, you need to make sure you've collected all the evidence. You need to be prepared for questions the parent may ask. I recommend always knowing the 5 W's: who, what, where, when, why of the incident.
Hello, Mrs. Luther. I'm calling about little Lex. Oh, he's all right. He just used some profanity at the handball court. Yeah, he used the S word and the A word and the B word and the D word and even the elemental P word. I made up that last part.
You want to feel confident before chatting with the parent, and the best way of achieving that confidence is knowing all the information. Tip number 2, purposely choose email or phone call. What I mean by this is decide whether email or phone call is most appropriate for the situation at hand. Sometimes I choose email to be able to be extra careful with my wording, and so I can make sure I can leave my personal bias or emotion out of the communication.
Then your little whippersnapper came traipsing into my classroom 10 minutes late after we had just had a conversation about responsibility. Delete, 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 delete. Delete.
There are other times if something more sensitive occurred that I know there will be a lot of follow-up questions, so I will opt to make a phone call instead. Sometimes just hearing tone of voice makes the delivery of sensitive information more helpful and less upsetting. Tip number 3, slant positive. Always remember that you're talking about this parent's little baby, their pride and joy. Therefore, although you want to be very objective about communicating the incident, make sure you're still staying positive about the future.
I know Timothy will make better choices tomorrow. The incident was out of character for Janice. I can tell Bonnie felt really badly about it, deep down, in her gut.
Planting positive to me means making sure the parent knows that you're there to support their child and want to see them do well. Tip number 4, validate feelings but be steadfast. While we want to validate the emotions the parent may be feeling, make sure you stay steadfast in communicating the consequences. You may have a parent that disagrees with the consequences you're giving. You're the professional, so calmly explain your reasoning after validating the parent's feelings. And hopefully you have a clear classroom management system in place that removes all personal bias. This is why it's super important to explain your behavior systems to parents at the beginning of the year so they're not surprised. Tip number 5, get admin support if needed. There are a small percentage of parents that are impossible to make happy and will just be looking for things to disagree about. If you have to deliver bad news to this type of parent, plan out your course of action and then run it by your admin. Most principals are happy to give feedback and support and probably already know this parent you're describing because they've encountered them in the office raising ruckus. So if you're worried about how to approach a particular parent, seek out your principal's advice. Have you had to deal with a challenging parent this school year? I'd love to hear from you. What strategies worked well for you? Please comment below. And if you liked this episode of Classroom Quick Tips, please subscribe and ring the bell. It's greatly appreciated. I'm Beth Cunningham Murray. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later.